Hello guys, it's your boy KP. Welcome to my channel and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking all things Arsenal. You already know the face that I'm featuring with today. No need for introduction, but I'm going to introduce him, the biggest of them all. I'm joking. It's Big Steph with me. You already know. Introduce yourself. How you feeling?
Already. You know, everybody, you know how it is.
Hey, if you're new or you're returning, please smash that subscribe button down below, hit the like button and leave your comments. Also, go subscribe to Big Steph's channel. I'll leave his channel in the description. You guys already know. Smash the like buttons on his videos, hit the subscribe button as well. You enjoy his content. But yeah, man, Steph. Let's just get straight into it. Off the back of yesterday's game, obviously City, Spurs, 2-0. A game I think, obviously, Spurs played well in. I'm not saying surprised me, but I think that they played really well. They really showed themselves well, obviously with no finishing prowess. And City, I don't feel like it was their best game either. I feel like they were quite rusty. They looked a bit shaky up until obviously they got the goals that kind of eased them off. But nevertheless, City got the 3 points and they're in pole position to win this league. Just your thoughts on the game overall. How do you feel?
Bro, first of all, I want to touch on Spurs fans and their mentality. Because in no way you could have something to challenge for and attack for and literally want your team to lose. I've never seen anything like it. People are saying, oh, what about us in the Champions League final when we were in the Europa League final? Brother, that has nothing to correlate. We had no control or bearings if Spurs won the Champions League that year. None at all. So for the Spurs fans, okay, you could hate Arsenal, you could not want us to win the league, but you couldn't stop us. You're that much of you hate yourselves. You hate us that much that you rather see yourselves fall too. Like, come on. In terms of the team, I thought Spurs gave a good account of themselves, like you said. I thought they had the tools to beat City. They had the good ground that normally has good atmosphere. I don't know what they did yesterday. Tottenham have pace on the wings that when Johnson got forward and Son in the first half a little bit got forward, they looked like they could have a threat on City. But then second half, you make someone misses a chance. Spurs, and the fans Spurs too. So I guess they were just
the fans like all through the build up, weeks leading towards the game. Obviously after the United game, we're just all talking about laying down and flat and getting destroyed. If I lose 20-0, I'll be happy. City scores, I'll celebrate. And obviously, funny enough, when City scores,
they did.
I understand it. Like, you don't even want your rivals to win or contribute to your rivals winning, especially when they ain't won in a long time, and they ain't won in a long time. But it just shows their mentality. Like, you're going for top four. Villa just lost the game the day before, obviously,
and I think they would have bottled it.
I think the pressure put the pressure on Villa. I feel like they go into Palace away. That's not an easy game. Palace are in form, but I'm not here to speak for Spurs because obviously whatever their fans want or don't want is their own. It's just for me, it was just like, is the hatred for Arsenal more than your own for your own the will for your own success for your club? That is a mentality change that's gonna keep them trophyless forever, and I'm happy about that. End of the day, it's sad that we have to rely on them or rely on anyone really to get a result out of City, which is hard in itself, but let alone just an advantage. But it was sad because they actually played well. Like in that second half before City's first goal, Cooley had a few chances. Son had that chance where Brennan Johnson squared him, and then he had that 1v1 where I compared it similar to that chance when Jorginho gave the ball away against Spurs in the Emirates, and he didn't hesitate to put that away. Obviously, you could question. Obviously, Ortega made himself big. Obviously, did the thing where he put one leg out to kind of
still finish that.
Obviously, and Raya didn't do that, but he should have finished it. Like, I don't feel like he hit a conviction. I'm not gonna be. I think I said that he missed it on purpose. I can't say that whether or not because Spurs actually applied themselves well, but. Like, I'm just thinking, if it wasn't Arsenal going for the league and you guys really cared top four, our son will smash that like all around.
I wouldn't say everybody applied themselves though. You see, Romero, brother, it's out for him. It's out for him. It's out for Romero. I've seen that guy come up against Arsenal every single time, want it more than any other Spurs player, and he's giving us problems. Even in the game the other day, he loses a 50-50 to Phil Foden, brother. Phil Foden Come on,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
No,
Then it
come
was
on.
like Bentancur could have like tackled him. They kind of left him because he's gonna foul it. I was like, even if you foul him, you're nowhere near the goal. They're not gonna get a yellow card. But
And then, bro, and then the cutback for Haaland. It's like, bro,
yeah,
bro? Come on, bro.
it was like the inevitable. But it was sad, didn't it? And obviously that's for them. And sadly, that
Yeah,
game is done. Only one game
no,
left.
no.
City are 1 point above us in the league, and yeah, man, it's all down to the final day. I just wanted to just ask you, obviously, moving forward, like, how do like, what's your feelings going into this final day? Like, are you resigned to just feeling like it's probably more than likely City are going to win this league, and you know, just want to have a good final game, you know, get our highest points tally, show that like this calendar year, apart from that Villa game, we've done a thing, or do you still have that belief in you that?
I would be lying to you if I came 38 games to not want us to still win a league title. I absolutely still believe in. Listen, crazier things have happened on final days. We've seen teams go from not winning it to winning it on the last kick of a game. Anything can happen on the final day, and that's what I'll say. I still believe because there's always a chance in football. Literally, they have to play West Ham at home. We have to play Everton. Hopefully, West Ham put up a good account to themselves. But if not, and we don't come away with the league title this year, then I think we still have a season to be proud of. I think over this season, even during the course of this season, we as fans and we as a team have went through an evolution process where we went from was last season an aberration or is this the Royal Arsenal? And I think over this season, over the course of this season, we've learned that the Royal Arsenal is back. When you go undefeated against the Big Six, when you have however many away clean sheets, the most clean sheets in the league, and still people say you don't have world class players. Still people say you're not good enough. Still people say you're not good enough in Europe. And you still have questions out against you. Hey, listen, we know our team. We watch our team week in, week out, and we feel the evolution in these players and in the squad and in this manager. And I'd say as long as we keep on the same course and we keep progressing, I think next season, like you've been talking about, next season we're back there again and more than likely probably going to win something. Who knows what it is? We're going to win at least something next season. And I think this is where Arsenal will start to really start to emerge as one of the teams amongst Europe's top leagues once more.
Yeah, man, I couldn't agree with you more. Like it's mad where there's still an opportunity for you to win the league and going into that game. And obviously, even if the odds are all against you, not still having that glimmer of belief, not still having that hope, that backing. I'm not like resigned to it because you never know. Obviously, David Moyes, former Everton boss, Mikel Arteta was his captain there. Declan Rice was his captain last year. Like you have a bit of incentives. There's like go there, play the nastiest low block, nastiest.
I hope so. I hope so, yo.
What I want is a ward pass, free kick or corner, 1-0, then just shot. But I'm just dreaming in it. But obviously, Lord God, football gods, hey, everyone, just listen to us. But you never know, man. Either way, as you said, like I'm proud of the team. Like I think if you look at statistics through the season, if you look at how we've reacted after that little blip December times before the little mid-season break and how you've been since, also competing in Champions League in a quarterfinal, close tie. Like it's not easy to compete in.
I tell you, we could have arguably won.
We haven't been in Champions League in Champions League in 7 years. So for our first time back, to be there in our title race and also to the quarters in facing a difficult team like Bayern, who did push Madrid all the way. I feel like it's kudos to us. Obviously, you want to win in with the majors, you want to get the trophies, and I feel like it's inevitable the way this process is going, the way the players that we have, the coach we have, like everything is you can tell the club is aligned, and I think to your point, the fans this season have started to align with the club, started to see and genuinely know how it feels to be that big club. Maybe some fans obviously were all riding that high of last season where none of us expected us to be in a title race, but it was so good that it was like obviously you got to that stage where you believe and it just came crashing down, which probably affected a lot of fans thinking, was this our chance and all this stuff? But we came back this season even stronger, even better. I just feel like the injuries in the earlier part of the season killed us, but we can sort that out with a strong window next season. Hey, I agree with you. I think whether it's the league title, Champions League, FA Cup, maybe both, I think it's definitely coming back to the Emirates. But yeah, Steph, there was a few pieces of transfer news coming out today. Obviously, just wanted to touch on or just at least get your thoughts on. Let me just share my screen here. And it's just a few points. Obviously, a few of them from Fabrizio Romano. So I don't know how much we can consider his, but yeah. So he was talking about I think on this was caught offside. I think it's a little podcast he does weekly that Gabriel Jesus has been mentioned as a target, but at the moment he's not talking to any Saudi clubs, and there are no proper negotiations ongoing. But it's just about interest. Same for Partey, who was a target last summer, but obviously he's not in contact with them. Obviously, I feel like this is just early rumblings. It's easy for there to just be Saudi links. Obviously, don't get me wrong. I feel like it will be surprising that there'll be a lot of players on this on like up for sale or will be willing to listen to offers too. But especially Gabriel Jesus, Partey is a bit more of a controversial one. I wouldn't want to see him leave. How about you? What do you think about this?
Nah, for a player like Gabriel Jesus, I cannot see him leaving. I feel like, especially people that are ready to move on from Gabriel Jesus, yes, I know we're transitioning, we're becoming a bigger squad, but since Gabriel Jesus has come in, to be honest, other than injuries and barring that, I think he's been one of our probably most impactful players. That started the first time he came. He was absolutely outstanding before going to the World Cup. Then picks up his injury, comes back, still performs pretty well. Not really the same. This season hasn't put too many in the back of the net, hasn't got that rhythm. But in the Champions League, early in the Champions League stage, we cannot forget, he was the guy providing for us. He looked to be that threat, and that Champions League know-how got us through that group as well. So Gabriel Jesus this season might not have put up crazy numbers and the 20 goals and many stats people might have want from him, but I think going forward, the way he's able to play off the wing, like we saw against Man City and these other games where he came on from the wing, he's able to drop deep in that false line, and the way he's able to just come in and always do a job, and he has the quality. If we're going to become a big club, keeping those players and continuity is going to be key. And for him to go to Saudi at his age right now, I can't see it.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Thomas Partey possibly, because of the injury record. If we sign a midfielder, does Partey want to stay? Does Arteta trust him to stay another year? Seeing that we already signed Jorginho to a longer deal.
That's right.
How does Partey view his future, and how does Arteta view Partey in the squad? But other than that, I can't really see Gabby going. No.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like I think it'll probably be good. Obviously, the fact that we're gonna get more attacking options, that we don't have to rely on him as a star, more for the reason of, like, he can actually allow himself to fully get fit, to fully heal up. And
I agree.
Whether or not he returns back to that level, like if we have 100% fit Gabriel Jesus available every week or every game, he's more confident in his own body. I feel like we see an even better player, a more hungrier player. And with Partey, I think his fitness, like I'm not one to want to push him out, but I think given the fact he has a year left, I doubt we give both him and Jorginho another year contract, but you never know. And given his record, like I would be touting to try and move him off more. Not because I don't like, but I don't. It's hard because he's kind of an irreplaceable player. What he does, but what he gives our team. But if he has declining athleticism and injury problems, I feel like I'm not trying to go into another year relying on a player that brings so much, but it's just never on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. And I think move him on before it becomes a problem for Arsenal to deal with. Move him on when you still have time to fix that position, fix it in the summer, so you're not worrying about it in the middle of December, and next time we come to another transfer window.
Because he only has 1 year left, so obviously losing him on a free when you might not even get a full season out of him. So it's not like his wages, his squad space is basically wasted when you could have maybe shifted him out maybe the summer for like 25-30 million would be interesting. But yeah, he also talks about Reece Nelson, which is probably a name I do think will go. He says it's a possibility he could leave the club. There was interest in Nelson last summer, but obviously he signed a new contract. He will now consider his proposals to Arsenal too. Arsenal are probably not desperate to let him go because obviously the homegrown talent. There's probably still a talent that we see in there. Like Arteta probably feels he can hone in, but given the fact that he's rarely featured this season and he's been fit for the majority part of it, I feel like it's probably time for, if he respects his own career, obviously despite him being an Arsenal boy, he could probably go to a lot of Premier League teams and get some good minutes and help his career develop. So I probably feel like it's best for us to sell Nelson and for him to go. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Nelson is, when he's even played this season, I thought he's had that urge to impress, and he's tried to impress. He's tried, but some games it hasn't come off for him. And like you see, even though Arteta says he might like him, he put his straight faith in him. He got that goal at Bournemouth, against Bournemouth, I should say, last year. I don't know if it's going to kick on for him and he's ever going to break through and become that guy for Arsenal. So I think a move probably might be the best thing for his career for him.
Yeah, I feel like the squad has moved. The quality of the squad has just increased even mid-season. That I feel like we've moved past certain players. Like I feel like certain players have to show us something else that gives us a reason. Like Reece Nelson, I thought after that Bournemouth goal, kick on and be very impactful. But I feel like
Yeah,
he's
so
had
that was
good
his time.
glimpses, but he hasn't gone on and kicked on since then. But yeah. So the next one came from Jacob Ben. I think he's a journalist. He talked about how, I think I've seen it before, that Newcastle don't want to lose Bruno Guimaraes, but any offer over 80 million, they're willing to listen to negotiations. Obviously, I think there's a £100 million release clause that is only valid for the first month of the transfer window, which I don't think anyone's going to trigger. But
Literally.
considering Newcastle missing out on Champions League and probably Europa League as well, their financial situation is going to be very peak. They're going to definitely have to make sales. I wouldn't mind Bruno Guimaraes. Obviously, I don't think he's had the best of seasons this season. I don't think bar Isak any Newcastle player has really, and also Anthony Gordon. But what do you think? Would you take Bruno G?
I mean, there's definitely a player in there. I've seen him play for Brazil for a few years now. I've seen him play for Newcastle before that. He's an interesting player. He is a player that is also going to provide us a bit of steal. He doesn't shy away from tackles. He's going to tackle. He does have the skill and ability to play and go forward. Would he be the answer to the 8 position? Possibly by 80 million, 100 million. I'm not doing a deal with Newcastle. I'd get him around 50. I'd get him around 50, 60. I'd respect that the market does go up and certain players are going to be priced in a certain range. But 50, 60 million, I'd do a deal, and possibly he could be an answer. That's if you're going to move Declan Rice from the 8, though.
Yeah.
And which I don't see. And then what happens to Smith Rowe? What happens to any other positions you're looking to strengthen in the midfield?
Yeah.
Who knows? But I guess. But that would probably be like a later option, a reserve option if you don't.
He's not like your first choice or your second choice, basically. So
But there is a player there, no doubt.
Yeah, 100%. He's a quality player. He's a Brazilian as well. He's got that dog in him. He's that kind of player that if you have him on the team, he's gonna do the stuff you need to be done, similar to Havertz, Ben White. Do you know what I mean? So
that's I was kind of comparing him to that in terms of that bit of answer. But we'll see if we get in a player like that. Do you think Arsenal need another player like that though?
I think we need a left 8. I think whatever player we do sign, they have to bring the defensive side of the game, in my opinion. Like, I'm not saying you have to be a complete strapsman, but you gotta be able to win your duels. You gotta be able to, that's what I need. I don't want no one to come in and then you're just shy or timid. Even if you're like a small player, still I want to see you working hard, pressing, putting the work in there. As a fan,
and I think that's a bare minimum for Arteta.
That's it, man.
But he's proven that he can do that, because even against us, I'll say he was. We went up to their ground this season. He was ridiculous. Should have been sent off, in my opinion. How he only got a yellow in the 80th minute blew my mind. But we'll let bygones be bygones if he's an Arsenal man. We'll let that go.
Let bygones be bygones. So yeah, the next one, obviously, this is one of my favorites. A player that I want. Obviously, I think it says TBR Football understands that Arsenal have added 19-year-old Benfica midfielder Joao Neves to their list of midfield options and have intensified their scouting of him in the last 6 weeks. So, hey man, we've been watching this guy. I've watched him a lot. I think obviously anytime I do catch some Portuguese league, I do watch a bit of it. And when I've seen him in Europe, like Steph, this guy's the real deal, man. I'm not saying that he'll be the only answer, because he's still a good age, 19. He's still relatively unproven. But in terms of like that 8th position, like defensive, look at him. He's got that tuck shirt in. When a player has 2024 is playing with a tuck shirt in, you got to know.
And before he's even 21. Before he's even low to drink, he's got a shirt tucked in.
He's like I'll find a player to compare him to, but defensive side, like
Rodri?
Nah, he's quite small, he's quite tiny, you look at him and you'll think Thiago Alcantara type, but I'm not saying he's that type of player, but he's very, very strong in the tackle, very, very aggressive, but excellent passing range, dribbling range, technical ability.
Even you mentioned that, KP. I even did some digging for myself. I see that he has ranks in the top 2 percentile with passes completed, with nearly 90% passes completed, 7 progressive passes per 90, 4 tackles and interceptions, 3.4 blocks and clearances, 19, 3 goals and 2 assists. Yeah. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of him, and I haven't been keeping a close eye on him. I should, because just even looking at those quick stats from Football Reference, this guy seems to be quality in form, and they back your knowledge. So
yeah,
I should definitely look into him. He looks like a pretty good talent.
I don't know how much he'll be going for. Like obviously at his age, and it's not like obviously Benfica. They're doing well. I think they're only second in their league. Obviously, they didn't go through far in Europe, so it's not like he's been profiled highly. But Benfica might value him so much, similar to how.
I think Transfermarkt had him valued at like 40 million.
Yeah, which I'll take because Benfica,
But yeah,
the
you know
kind
it's
of
probably
team.
gonna triple that.
Benfica, the kind of
You know
team,
they're gonna triple
they
that.
sold. Was it Enzo Fernandez paying for Benfica, right?
Yeah, also Joe Felix.
I'm saying Joao Felix, like they sell
Benfica are
well. They
gonna look
sell
to get
well.
money.
These Portuguese teams sell well, but I would definitely take him. He's on my tier 1 list. Obviously, I will talk about that list later. And in the same article, they talked about how, which is interesting, that Zubamendi still remains Arsenal's top choice, which I don't believe, but we'll see. And the club are busy trying to work on a deal. Arteta's trying to persuade him to make the move, and Arsenal doing the last line is for me is what does it all. Arsenal doing their due diligence on other targets if he becomes unattainable. I seen something about, I think, I don't know if it was Sociedad's president or their coach or something like that, saying about Zubi loves it here. He wants to stay another season here, and I've heard a lot of news about that. Zubamendi doesn't really want to leave. Like if he leaves, he leaves. He doesn't. And like I'm not saying I wouldn't want to take him, but one, I don't think he's tier 1, but I think he's very good. And 2, like if Arsenal come knocking for you, you better want to come. Like all this, I want to stay at home in Spain. Then you can stay home in Spain, my dog. I'm saying Zubamendi. What's your thoughts? You watch much of him? What's your opinion of him?
Zubamendi, quality. I've heard about him. Sociedad, especially in the Champions League early on when they were progressing. I thought they played pretty well. Played a good, pretty good football when they did catch a glimpse of him in Europe. How he's doing on an overall scale in La Liga. From what I've seen, he seems to be a good passer of the ball. He seems to be very composed. Could add that to our midfield. That will also keep Rice as the progressive 8, which I am very interested to see because I think Declan Rice has that quality of carrying the ball forward, and we don't lose too much with that tackling in the 6, and we won't lose too much of that passing going forward. He is a hometown basketball, I think, playing for Sociedad, so I think that connection to being for his boyhood club might be one of the reasons why he's not tempted to sway at the first option.
Yeah.
Plus, these Spanish players like to play for Real Madrid, Barca. If they do,
if the opportunity comes around,
probably waiting on that call. Who knows? Because I think Barcelona also have pretty high interest.
Yeah.
But hey, look, whoever Arteta gets, especially for that midfield, I will always back until otherwise, because he's proven that even if players like a Bruno Guimaraes, like I touched on, even if Bruno Guimaraes was to come in, Arteta has shown an ability to, if he sees a little bit of something, he can pull the most out of it in any player and find it to work some way, somehow in the system. So I think Zubamendi already has qualities that we're going to need in terms of tackling, passing forward, and allowing Declan Rice to move forward as well. So no doubt if Zubamendi comes in the squad, I think hopefully he comes in. The price, we'll have to see what they're talking about, because they're another club that are probably going to look to sell pretty well, like Sociedad normally like to do.
Yeah. I think he has a release clause. I'm not too sure how much it is. I don't know if it's valid as well, but I know for sure, like I don't think he'll be like Bruno Guimaraes type price. And lastly, Sam J. Dean reports. Sam J. Dean reports that Arsenal have a strong interest in RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko, only 20 years old, obviously, and are considering to move him in the summer. Telegraph Sport, obviously, I think that's a UK newspaper line, understands that the rival suitors believe Arsenal are now in pole position to sign him, and if they choose to formalise the interest, then we will get our man. I also believe, not that it mentions on here, that he has a release clause of something in around like 40 million or so. So I don't know if you watch much of Sesko. Do you have any opinions on this? Do you feel like we should go for a striker?
You said 40 million is a release clause?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Hey, listen, if we can get him at the 9 for 40 million, I take him. He looks to be like a pretty good striker in terms of he has the build that Arsenal seem to be looking for, tall, physical striker. Only thing I would though is the age, because coming into this new age of Arsenal are probably looking to buy a guy that's ready to compete from day one. If we were going to get, I guess, a striker, do you want to get a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, just first season in England? You're hoping he's going to have to get his feet wet into the league, understand the system, understand how to move off of this system. A system who's never really had a point striker like himself. So it's going to be a workout period for not only Sesko but for Arteta as well. How do you fit that mold of player into the squad? I think it's a bit of a risk for a 21-year-old, but he has been in good form. He has 6 goals in his last 6 games. So he looks a player. He looks a good talent. No doubt about it. But we'll see. At 40 million, I would do a deal if we're looking to get him. But I don't know how it's going to translate in terms of
It's
Premier
Premier
League
League football.
success instantly. But over time, who
Yeah,
knows?
like I think he's a good player. I've watched him quite a bit. Like he's got that big frame, fast, good in the build up, great ball
Mhm.
striking, great in the air. Obviously, good potential. Obviously, like to become something. But it's like I'm kind of like at a stage where I'm conflicted, like because I feel like we're at that summer now where we need to go for the best of the best in whatever position we want to go for.
I
Obviously,
agree. No
in
doubt.
terms of the availability, and then if you miss out on the first target, go for this, like, that type of thing. Like I feel like it's easy for journalists to kind of see our trend of transfer history going for the young
And
player
throw those young
and
names
then
at it.
yeah,
Yeah.
throw a lot of names out. And I don't like. I feel like last season there was a lot of noise around Rice earlier on. We kind of knew we were going for him. This season, I don't think there's been a player that we've kind of been constantly linked with, or
Oh,
we've had
yeah.
talks and stuff. So, which is exciting me because now it's like we all can come up with our theories and stuff and see what happens or what we feel we're gonna do. But until this window starts and we get them concrete, David Ornstein type
Yeah.
announcements, is nothing. But yeah, shout out to AFC stuff on Twitter. Obviously, he tweets all things Arsenal, so give him a follow as well. So I got this tweets from. But yeah, Steph,
Mm-hmm.
it's just crazy. I just want to win this league, man. That's all I can say to you, man. But
Trust, bro. I know how it is, bro.
we'll
I
see.
feel
We'll
you.
see. We'll see. Just to close off here to round out. I just want us to have I just want Sunday to be an enjoyable day. I think the
Mhm.
new kit comes out tomorrow or Thursday. So I think we'll debut that kit on the last final day as we normally do with our new home kits. So it'd be nice to see those fits.
Would you want to lift? Would you want to lift the Premier League in that new kit, or would you rather lift it in the gold one that we've been wearing
If we
all
were to
season?
win the league, I want us to put on that gold strip
Yeah,
because
I feel like you have to.
especially because it's iconic. It's the 20-year invincible kit. It has the win loss. The record. It's like it's just fitting for us to do it. But obviously, we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure there's probably when they make the shirts, 20-year
Yeah,
reunion types. Yeah, they'll probably do something like that.
yeah.
So
They probably got their own thing going on behind the scenes just in case anything happens.
yeah, man. But obviously, we'll get into proper transfers. Obviously, once the season's done, and that's the main focus. And there's proper rumors. So you start talking depth into players and do that stuff. But for now, I just want to touch on that news. But yeah, that's not much from us. So hey, guys, that's the end of the video. So please head over to Big Steph's channel. I'll leave his channel in the description. Subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let them know Cape sent you. And you already know what to do on my channel. Subscribe, like, comment down
Alrighty.
below, and we will speak soon. Take care.